Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Basic here, back in Valheim, bringing you another building video. In today's video, we're going to be building this large homestead set here in the meadows on an island. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And if you do enjoy, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Go ahead and consider subscribing so you don't miss any more Valheim content. Without further ado, let's go ahead, throw it on to the time lapse. When we're done, we'll come back and we'll do a full walkthrough and I'll explain everything to you. So let's get started. Right, so I hope y'all enjoyed the time lapse. I know it was a little bit long. This is a massive build, but still very glad that you're still here to this point of the video where we can discuss what we've actually done and why we did what we did. So anyways, you can see the long path here. This is just more for the aesthetics and kind of the dramatic feel of walking up into this massive fortress, homestead style build, with a little covering here. I just thought it was a nice touch. With the enclosures of the wall and how close they are, the bees were not very happy. But we made the bees happy by putting them out here. So that's why these are now located out here. If you're worried about raids or anything like that, obviously we can change out the fences. But I just thought that was a nice little touch buried up in the tall grass. So moving on along, you will notice that this part of the build was not in the time lapse. This was added on. Done this now with the last two builds where I think everything's going to fit and then it doesn't quite. Now obviously you could place them on the inside somewhere. They would fit, it just wouldn't look right, so that's why I put them here. But this is where the smelter and the kiln are. You do have access from the inside of the homestead to get into here, or you can just come onto the outside here through these doors. Moving on along, we have a nice little ward just sitting right there. I didn't want to do too much terrain manipulation around this. I did flatten out the area for the most part to build this, but I kind of left everything as natural as possible, as long as you just had like a little path. Plenty of room to put your carts. So yeah. Now moving on along to the front gate, I do just love this. I love making these front gates. They just, there's just something about them. They're just so much fun, and being creative to make them look really, really good. Again, you've noticed this whole entire build was regular wood. Obviously you can incorporate some core wood, but I really, you know, depending on how hard you want to grind at the very beginning of the game, I wanted to really just build out of wood. I didn't want to add many more elements to it. You can see some of the cross beams here, those 2-meter beams. That's just to add a little bit of decoration around. But for the most part, it's all wood. Got the columns here again. That's that technique that I saw from Verso. So I borrowed your technique again, so thank you. So anyways, moving on in, you can see we also put the fence pieces up there in the window. I thought that was a really, really cool little touch. I've never really done that before, but I do like the way it looks on this build. Moving on in, we've kind of changed some things up since the time lapse. I kind of came in, I was thinking about it after I did the time lapse build, that it was just really crowded. I wanted a good spot for a garden area, and this is where the workshop was. But I had a nice empty place, and I'll show you shortly, where I put the workbench and the forge and all that. In the towers on the bottom here, we have the portals, so they can go to wherever you want. Each tower right here on the front has a portal. They're all labeled, you can see. We got our garden now in place for the where the forge and the little workshop was, so I thought that was a really nice touch. Placed down a forge out here, put the forge cooler in. Also, I connected, you can see there's some item stands right there, and put my tools in, and then place the forge cooler back on top. So thought that was a really cool touch. Put your tools in there. Got our wards just guarding the front, and again the yellow banners. Right here we've got our cooking station area. We've got cauldron, and you got the cooking racks there, so I thought that's really cool. Again, bees are not happy in here, so this is just for looks, but got a nice little curved patio, or patio, not patio, but planter area with some carrots. Same here. Moving on along through here, we have our fermenters. And then I thought about putting in a, you can see in the time-lapse app, actually, I put in like an area for the boars and everything. It just didn't look right either, but this is what this is. This is the little drying house. You can put all the meats and let them hang up in here. Thought that was a cool little touch. But you can always use the bottom of the towers for whatever you want. So here's where we have moved the forge and the workshop to. We got our stones, stack of stones. We've got a stack of wood, carts. Just, you know, make it look kind of dirty a little bit. I know that sounds odd, but make it look a little bit dirty where you're actually looks like you're working out here and all that going into the house, all dirty and whatnot. So yep, got our forge. Again, this is right as soon as you're either at the very beginning of the game or you've already gotten your bronze where you're able to go into the Black Forest. So that's at this stage of the game where this build would take place. And it's big enough to where you can upgrade it however you want. And one of the things I like about the location that I chose this build, with it being on this island, is you're pretty much protected on 3 sides. So if you're worried about raids, you'll need to just worry about them from one side. Again, portal over there underneath this tower. You'll notice that all the towers look the same. The only difference is they're slightly higher than than all the other ones. So this is the tallest corner tower. That's the second tallest, and so on. You get it. So moving on in, I do just love the house part of this build. It just fits so nice. It's got a nice grand looking entrance, but it's not overpowering. Not many pieces of wood sticking out here and there. I just thought it just is really nice. Here in this big tower, we'll go in. That's where all your stairs are. And so, yep, let's go ahead and head on up that way. So moving on in, we have our little house area. This is like the little kitchen area. It's more for the looks than anything. It is functional. You got some chest up underneath there, chest there, but plenty of room to expand. So that's why I chose this. I did make this little island here and put the bench in. So you got your nice little table. This build is big enough for 4 players. Plenty of big enough for 4 players. So keep that in mind. That's why there is room for 4 players. We got our little fireplace here. This fireplace does heat up the whole entire area. So that is great. Obviously, there is room to expand it if you want to put in the hearth once you open that up. We got plenty of storage chests, which is always good to have. And moving on up the stairs, you can see we've got right here, Together We Fight. Like I said, this is made for, I made a mistake right there, but that's okay. We'll fix that. But yeah, so you got your stairs up here. You got all your bedding. It's nice and big and open, which is, I just love that about that. Got your trophy there. And you got a little table. Each bed has its own storage chest as well for personal items, so that's always good to have. Got a couple tankards over here, so come home, drink some nice meat after a long fight or chopping wood throughout the day. One of the things I just now noticed as I'm recording this is there is no access to get to the top other than going back out and through the forge, or not forge area, but the smelter area. So that's what we're going to do for now. Obviously, as you're building this, there is areas that you can put that in, which I'll show you in just a minute. So up here, we have our nice big walkway, walking all the way around. It kind of stops right here. You can't really see anything here. This is more for looks, but out here you can fight. And so out over this area, this is the only area that I believe where you'll get raided from, is out from that direction. So like I said, you're really well protected. This wraps all the way around, which is awesome, and it's covered, so for those that are worried about wood rot or anything like that, you won't have it on this build. Got a nice big area here. It's covered, so if you needed to put any kind of benches or anything like that out here, you could as well to repair. Moving on in here, we have another empty area. I kind of left this empty just for y'all to use your imagination. Nice big tall ceilings, which I just love that. It can be used for just whatever you want it to be. This is that lookout over the forge area and the workshop, which is down below. Moving on around, this is where I'm thinking that some of that clutter down there at the bottom could be moved, and you could actually bring up some stairs down this side right here. So that's what I would recommend in this build, is putting them in there. Again, you got another nice tower, you got a great view, all of that. And moving on around, you can come to this tower. You can take a look at your house, which is just, I just love this. I love this. To me, I think this is my most favorite build that I have done on this channel and in Valheim. To be honest with you, I just love this build. I love the way it looks. It just looks homey, but it looks, you know, intimidating as well. So, and again, plenty of lighting all the way around. Nothing needs to be done on the inside. All the towers you've seen in the time lapse have this design in the ceiling, so that's just awesome to have as well. So let's move on back around. Yep, right there on that wall is a perfect spot I would put stairs in. So moving on around, we're going to go ahead and head on back down, and I'll give you some final thoughts. Also, some things that I would consider adding to this. As you are on the water, you're on the ocean, there is room to put in like a dock. Really and truly, there's so much room on this island that you could just expand and do just about whatever you wanted to do. You can see here, let me open up my map. You can see here, it's on open ocean. So we're right here in this little bay, which are protected. Here's the spawn location. So that's another reason that I like this. If I'll leave the map seed in the description of this video as well. That way you all have it. You can see the location at which I built this homestead. So last but not least, the other things that I would add to this would be like a boar farm or some kind of farm for your animals. There's plenty of room still out here on this island area to add that in. So that would be probably the last thing that I would do is add that into this build. But anyways, guys, thank y'all so much for coming by and watching this video. I do greatly appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that has recently subscribed to the channel. Thank y'all so much. You don't know how much it means to me. The growth of the channel is just, you know, it's going. I love seeing it. I will be posting a community post here very soon about the community server that I'm getting ready to launch. I'll also leave it in my Discord, so if you haven't joined the Discord yet, go ahead, head over to the description of the video, click the little link, come join the Discord. You'll get more information. I'll post sneak peeks of new builds that I've been working on there as well. And I also have channel memberships, which the community server will be part of that. So if you want to get in on that, there will be a new tier added to my memberships for this to be able to join the community server, because financially I'm supporting it myself. So a little bit of help will never hurt. So I hope y'all understand. But again, I do appreciate every single one of you. Thank y'all so much, and we'll see you in the next build video. Take care. Bye-bye.